Welcome to SDL City Showdown. I'm AJ, and this guy here is Steve, and he is like so excited. Like when Durkin scored that goal, I swear he peed a little bit.
I've had 3 kids. It's, I just pee whenever I get excited. It happens.
How do you feel? Like this is crazy. It's like I knew we were gonna lose.
Oh,
seriously.
yeah.
Like after we scored 2 goals, I was like, there's somehow that we were gonna give up a cheap goal. And then somehow something was going to happen in the last dying minutes of the game, and we were going to lose, right?
Everyone has to feel like I was discussing with you, like, I'm not sold on this team winning yet, because even when we were up 2, there's no way we get out of this without a draw. Like, we are so good at dropping points from a winning position until Hartle scored that ridiculous score, which, by the way, guys, if you didn't see it, why? Go look it up. I mean, you'll see it on MLS because it's going to be the goal of the week. It's going to be the goal of the week. You get a 40-yard bomb that tricked a U.S. national team goalkeeper. Like, unbelievable. I think at that point, I'll probably seal it. It's so late in the game. It was such a stupid goal that had no reason to go in. It had no reason to work. And it just deflated an already bad team. So, like, I honestly was, even up to like the 4th minute, it's like, what's going to happen? It never happened.
So if you guys are listening to us for the first time, we are a podcast that we focus more on a game of the game. So Steve is actually going to give us our first game of the evening. What is it, Steve?
Yeah. So again, like, if you want the analytical side, go to Flyover Footy. You want to talk about gambling, go over to those other guys that talk about balls and they're watching and whatever. But if you just want like what people talk about, this is what you come for. Like, this is why you're here. This is why you're with us. So when we have a game like this, it is very easy to overreact. Like, we finally won a game, and the very first thing is, we're never losing again. We're never losing again. Like, we finally win. And so we're going to play a game where it's like an overreaction, but then we try to pair it with something in reality. So one thing that kind of sparked this was towards the end of the game, the 98 broadcast, Dale, he's an actual coach. He actually knows what he's doing. It's really interesting to listen to him during the game because he can see when things are happening. But Dale, at the end of the game, made a comment that Marcel Hartle is possibly the best player this team has ever had. Is that an overreaction?
Well, what I would say is that anytime something like what we just saw with Hartle today, there's always a tendency to have overreactions, right? Like, that was an amazing goal. That's going to be the goal of the week. There's a chance it could be goal of the month. I think that's very reasonable too. I would definitely say that Hartle has to be at least in the top 2 for sure, right? And maybe you might add a third person, right? So the only 3 we could talk about here is Leuven, Hartle, and Berkey. Now, I think a lot of fans are going to say, well, Leuven doesn't count. He hasn't played enough. It's not his fault, but we do have enough of a sample size to see. And then, of course, we got Berkey too, which is a great goalie, but I mean, it's almost a different position. It's kind of like apples and oranges. So what do you think? I think the biggest question here is it Hartle or is it Leuven at this point?
You know, I'm going to say Hartle. Only because, like, in St. Louis, we are big on that sentimental stuff. I think most cities are. Leuven was, our OG. He was here from the beginning, gave us some pretty amazing times. But let's be honest, like, he's been missing a lot. But, like, the midfield has been great. But, like, I remember that second season, there were some times where it wasn't super duper with him before Hartle came. So, like, I am going to lean on Hartle. I'm going to say Hartle's been our best player up to date. I don't think that's an overreaction. What about you?
I wouldn't say it's an overreaction.
Would you say Leuven or Hartle has been our best players if we're going to narrow it down to those 2?
I know.
Because I agree.
I'm
I don't think Berkey can be it because he's got one position. Yes, you know what? F it. It's an overreaction. Dale is just excited. It's an overreaction. He can't be because he doesn't have all the stats yet. So Is it still Klaus? Is Klaus still our best player up to this point?
No, no. Okay. I think that's going too far. I mean, Klaus was good, but he was so bad for so long, though. Like, he wasn't fitting with the systems. Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to have to go with Hartle here. Leuven, I was really thinking about Leuven, but there was probably a time where we didn't know what was going on that was impacting his game. What I hope to see is Leuven come back this year, and we can really see. Here's a good thing, Steve, is legit. We don't have to decide between the two. I'm just glad we have both.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, no kidding. Yep.
Winner, winner.
I think an overreaction is we fixed the scoring. The people are going to say we scored 3 goals, everything is okay. And for me, the reality of that is no, our goals per game is still at 0.8. So we still, even after scoring 3 goals in one game, we still have less than 1 goal per game average to this point. And our goal differential is still -3. So one game does not fix a season. So I've seen it on Reddit and I've seen it on Discord. People are like, guys, it's all good. We're scoring now. And one of those was a fluke. And one of them was a set piece. And it's not going to, we've seen set pieces are very hard to score on. And it just so happens that New England is just pathetic at the box defending and set piece. The reality is we're still a very pathetic team at scoring. Okay, that's mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say it's overreaction. Here's the thing. I loved how you kind of dissected this. Okay, there's no doubt that Hartle's goal was awesome, but the thing is you can't count on those kind of goals. It's kind of like if you watch hockey, you can't count on having a breakaway every game and winning that way, right? Like, it's nice to happen and it gives you a little bit of bonus goals, but it's not something you can count on. Set pieces, I feel like you can score a decent number of goals from set pieces and you could be very dangerous with them. But what you really want to see is you want to see goals in the run of play.
Yes.
I would have to argue that there was none tonight because the Hartle one was more of, hey, I just kind of kicked it. It was kind of fluky. It was a great goal, but still wasn't that run of play. The set piece, by definition, of course, isn't run of play. And then the other one where Edelman stole the ball and then kind of kicked it, and then Betcher. That wasn't really a build-up. There wasn't like, hey, we were threatening in the final third, and then we made a play happen. So far, unfortunately, I don't want to say that our offense is clicking. I feel like we did the right things, absolutely, but yeah, it's just not there yet.
Yeah. It's like that old cliche for sports is you take advantage of bad teams. And like these two teams were probably saying that same thing to each other before the match. Like, this is one of the worst teams in the league, guys. We can do this. And it just so happens we were able to do it more than them. On the broadcast, they brought up like everyone should have been aware that New England scored 6 goals against Cincinnati last week. And that's what got me worried. Like, holy crap, they put 6 goals. Well, that was against a heavily rotated Cincinnati team who was playing in the championship cup and the Champions Cup. And yeah, they scored 6 goals, but they basically scored 6 goals against all their backups. And so it was a rout. And it's like anytime when the Cardinals would score 5, 6, 7 runs, Mike Shannon would comment, save some for tomorrow for the pitcher. Like, you can't use all your goals in one match. Like I said, one game does not fix a season.
So let me ask you this question then. So a lot of fans may feel, hey, we just won 3-1. We had this offensive explosion, which we just addressed. Maybe we turned around and maybe we figured out. How do you feel going into the next few games?
Not good. We still don't have a true striker. Betcher was there. Betcher put himself in a good position because Edelman stole the ball. He knew exactly where to put it. We still don't have a striker. We still don't have an offensive game plan. You look at every time we got the ball in the box tonight, it looked like they were terrified. They had no idea what to do. The commentators were saying, like, they got to be bold. You got to be brave. When the ball's in there, you just got to take a shot. And it's just like, was stagnant every time. Mm-hmm. And I think we've nailed it. Like, none of our goals were run of play. None of our goals seemed to be like an actual strategy. They were just there. I would say like set pieces, you practice those, you practice all this stuff, but like, I don't think Jan Demay should go into the presser and be like, It's exactly what we thought it would be tonight, guys. We knew that we've been practicing that Hartle 40-yard bomb all week. Get out of here. So no, I am not feeling good. How are you feeling moving into next week? Because we discussed this last week where we thought this might be the one game in the next 3 or 4 that we can get a win, and we did because it was against another poor team.
The realistic fact is if we're looking at the Supporter Shield, right? Like we played against San Diego, who's currently 6th in the Supporter Shield. And we played LAFC, which is currently 2nd in the Supporter Shield, right? And the thing is we finally have a game against a mid-tier team. I mean, technically New England is 10th in the division. And the hard part is I'm looking at this. Check this out, Steve. We play NYCFC next game away. They're 2nd in the East. We play Dallas away. They're 8th in the West. That's going to be our easiest game in the next 5 games or 4 games. Then Seattle away. They're 6th in the West. San Jose, we play at home, but they're 4th in the West. And then finally, it's not until we play Austin, who is a mid-tier team, and they are 10th in the West.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm trying to make is we're going right back into the frying pan with these heavy literally top third teams. This is a very, very challenging schedule ahead of us. So I'm not very optimistic. So overreaction for you, right, is talking about Betcher and Cordova. So we saw Cordova for a while, and he made a lot of great plays. He just showed a lot of athleticism. Should he be our first string starter striker? Or is that an overreaction? Or is it because Betcher's not good and you're just put somebody else in?
I say Betcher should not even worry about lacing his shoes. Let's go ahead and Dale was calling him Cordova. It reads Cordova. He was calling him Cordova the entire match. So like when he came in, so I don't know how to say this guy's name. I thought it was Cordova, but it's Cordova apparently. But anyway, I don't think that is an overreaction to say we need to start Cordova over Betcher. I don't think that's a overreaction. We gotta see something because so far Betcher ain't in, and we have very tough teams coming up. We're gonna have to score. I don't see how NYFC in Dallas doesn't put 2 goals on us. Like they're hard scoring teams, and we got to have someone out there that can actually do it. Like what I would like to see is something because Celio's ball handling skills, passing skills into the box with someone who can actually score. How an Edelman out there? How is that in a hard? How would that look like? Or Teutschert will be back next week possibly. I think he had an ankle injury last week, and that's why they pulled him out. So do you start Teutschert over Celio next week?
I mean, honestly, this is what I think. I would have Hartle, I would have Cordova, and I would have Celio out there. Here's the thing. This is another overreaction, right? Where people complain about Celio's defense, blah, blah, blah. And there was somebody online that I was talking to, like on the Reddit threads, that said Celio didn't have any impact on the goals. And I think that's an overreaction. The realistic thing is tell me what City typically does in the box. They get out on the wings and then they cross it, and that's the only thing that they ever do.
Yeah.
There's no central attack. There's no bringing the ball in. At least Celio was trying to bring the ball in from the right wing. And I think that changed the defense that allowed for some opportunities. That's the kind of thing you need. You need to be a little bit multiphasic. You need to have different looks. You can't just do the same thing over and over again, especially when you have Valum who can't cross worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
Santos does a decent job, but I mean, this isn't great. So
real quick. So we talked about that we're going to have to score. So far this year, NYFC, they're 2nd in the East. They've scored 11 goals so far.
Oh my.
Yeah. Dallas is 8th in the West. They've scored 9 goals so far. But check this out. Seattle is 6th in the West. They've scored 5, but they've only allowed 2 goals.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So they've scored less goals than Dallas, but their goal differential is better. It's insane. And so we're going to have to score. We're going to have to. NYFC's only given up 3 goals this entire season. 3. And we're going in there with Simon Betcher as our striker. Get out of here. We win 0 of the next 3 games. We win 0. I don't see. All right. What about, so another overreaction was, I think, man of the match. So the team has on the app, anytime we win, they don't have the nerve to do it when we lose. Anytime we win, they put up vote for the man of the match. And they put 4 players who they think had an impact. And they had Durkin, they had Betcher, they had Edelman, and who was the other player on there? I don't remember the other player. Probably didn't matter.
I don't even remember.
But anyway, they had those 4 players. And it turns out that after I voted, that it was Orozco. Okay. Chris Durkin won man of the match on the app because he scored. You and I, independently, we both thought that who should have gotten man of the match.
I felt like it was Edelman. It
Yep.
just seemed like he was all over. He had some good defending. Now, that being said, part of this is also the Durkin love that's been going on, right? Fans are fickle. Durkin's had a couple good games. So I feel like this is almost like spillover and reward, honestly. Yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's chicks dig the long ball, where it's the flashy stuff. You know, you're not going to see Whitey ball on the highlights. You're not going to see strong strategic plays on the highlights. You're going to see those flash. You're going to see the home runs. You're going to see the touchdowns. You're going to see the goals. You're going to see that set piece goal where Durkin had that amazing kind of kicked it right in. But you're not going to see the true man of the match, which was Edelman in this case. Edelman was the best player on the pitch. Fop Mob had him as the highest ranked player on the pitch because of course he was. Without his play, we do not get that first goal. He had a huge impact. I gave Santos, rightly, a lot of crap at the beginning of the game. He was ball watching and allowed that goal to go in to get past him, and he had a stupid yellow card. He was one of the second best players on the pitch throughout the whole game. He was amazing after that. He put himself in the right position. He was a great player. Like, some of these pickups have been really great. I will give it to Ray, especially with Edelman. Edelman was a smart pickup. Great. He should have been man of the match, but the emotions got to the fans. They saw the name.
Of course.
I have a feeling, I bet a lot of the people that voted didn't even realize that Edelman caused that Betcher goal to happen. I'm betting you. I would bet dollars to donuts that there's no way people even knew. I felt that was an overreaction. Durkin or Betcher getting the man of the match, which Betcher should never get man of the match unless the rest of them all fall sick and he's out there by himself. But I think that was an overreaction. Do you think as well?
Honestly, what you just said, ditto. I mean, well said. Well said.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you voted for one of those two and you think that we're crazy, comment, let us know, because it just seemed, to me, it was a no-brainer. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, boop. And I was like, 5%? Only 5% of the fans think that Edelman should have been the man of the match? Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I get goals are fun. We don't score them enough, but that was rough. I mean, I thought that was a huge overreaction.
So what game do you got for us next, Mr. Steve?
Cool. All right. So again, after we win, it's great to think that everything is fixed. Everything is fixed. You know, when in our group chats, food is a big thing. Food, everyone loves food. People talk about food. That's one of the biggest things my wife and I discuss every day is what's for dinner, what we're going to have. I'm a vegan, so of course I'm a pain in the butt to try to figure out food for. But food is a huge topic. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put it in food terms. So what I'm going to say is we're going to look at 4 different aspects of our team. And between you and I, we're going to have to rank each one. And we're going to rank each one by food, by cooking of the food. So like people say like, oh, I'm so cooked. Well, in that instance, that means it's bad. But when we're talking about this today, we're going to say if it is really good, if it's kind of ready to go, we're going to say this aspect is cooked. It's ready to plate. Smells delicious. You know, it's maybe some really fine soy curls, or for you maniacs, a nice steak. Who can afford steak? We'll say chicken. So if it's ready, if it's all good, it's cooked. If we're improving, we're in that cooking mode. We're sizzling it, frying it up, boiling, whatever. So it's cooking. If it's still a huge issue, We're going to say it's raw. It's no way. It's still in the fridge. It's put on the counter. You got to clean the counter. It's nowhere near ready. So it's raw. So we're either going to say it's cooked, cooking, or raw. You ready?
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
So after a game like this, people are going to look at the attack of this team. What do you think we have to agree. So for our attack, do you think we're raw, cooking, or cooked?
This is easy. I mean, this is like raw, like it hasn't even came out of the refrigerator.
I would agree. And I think we have made plenty of cases for why this is raw, because all of our goals today were not part of the attacking. All of our goals, you would say the set piece, that's part of offense, part of the striking, part of the attack, sure. But it's still raw. We're still not scoring from run of play. We relied on a crazy goal to get our third goal. So I would say it's raw as well.
And I wouldn't even just say scoring in our run of play. Like, there's just no creativity. Like, I think we're getting better at taking the back line, going to the wings, and progressing forward. The problem is that if you're going to play this kind of style, right? Like, there's two different ways to kind of go up the field, right? Either up the middle or on the wings.
Yeah.
And inevitably, if you go up the wings, when you get towards the box, right? And there's going to be a lot of crossing into the box, and our crossing sucks. And then the question is, okay, if it sucks, then what do you do? Well, for us, I just feel like we get double and triple teamed constantly.
Yep.
And then we choke up the ball and it ends the possession. Like, there's just nothing happening. Like, there's no creativity. I mean, we watch all these other great teams week after week, and you say, why can't City do that?
Yeah.
Like, there's just nothing, you know?
Why? Case in point, LAFC last week. It just looked like every time they touched the ball, they could score. Every time we touched the ball, it was, I can't wait till we turn it over. But yeah, so I think we're in agreement there. It's still raw. Now,
I think everybody. Yep.
One aspect of this team that we could have some disagreement on, or I think we can look at as a positive, is our defense. So when I say defense, maybe we're talking that defensive mid back to that back line. So I would say, you know what? Nope, we've given up. Nope, I would say we're cooking. I can't say we're cooked. I can't say it's ready to go. Because the only reason I think I'm wanting to say that it's cooked is because it's the highlight of our team so far. For me, the defense has been the highlight because we have no offense. So we got to look at something. But our goal differential is still like -3. Like, we still are giving up goals. So tonight, against a pathetic team, yeah, we look great. Our defense looks solid. So, but I think it's cooking. What do you think?
I mean, if we're going to use this analogy, I'm going to say it's cooked, but it's starting to get cold.
Okay.
Like, it's been sitting for too long. And here's why, right? We just made the argument earlier that we played against a lot of really good teams, like LAFC, San Diego, etc., right? And honestly, we held our own for the most part. Yes, I do realize we gave up goals, but this is against good teams, right? So I think our defense was doing pretty good. However, there are some loose ends that are happening. So, for instance, Baumgartel, I feel like there's starting to be more and more errors there. I don't know if he's just getting...
Tonight.
Yeah, he's slow. He is so slow. There was I think I counted 3 balls where it was one of those where, like, somebody did the long ball and then it was basically a chase between the striker or the winger versus Baumgartel, and he never can get there. He's just so slow. He's just constantly beat. I don't know if he's like nursing a mild injury. I don't know if he's just always this slow. But then there's just some mental errors that we've seen. Fortunately, I don't think any have turned into goals. Not like Santos that you mentioned earlier, right? Yeah. On that first goal. But I do feel like we have to give them some credit. I feel like if we had decent, like, I'm talking about a mid-tier, like a 8th place team offense, and then we had this defense, then we would be much higher. I would say we'd be like 6th, 7th in the West, personally. 6, 7.
I actually had that same thought where it's like, can you imagine if we didn't sell off our one striker? like we would probably like we would be intimidating. We would be able to have a force that could score, and the teams couldn't just sit back on us and press. It's just, yeah. I think our lack of offense brings down our defense. If the team cared about scoring goals, we would definitely, our defense would be better. All right. So that's, because I was kind of held, you know what, I'll go cooked with the defense only because I'm the same thing. Like, it's either cooking and it's like, sometimes you can,
Yeah.
when you finish a dish, yeah, you can have the meat be slightly undercooked and it will rest and kind of cook it the rest of the way. It's like we're serving a piece of not fully cooked meat and we're taking it to the table, hoping it's cooked by the time we get there. Like, we're presenting it to the customer, hoping it's good, which is what the team is doing to us.
Boom. We'll go with it.
All right. What about our depth? What about our team depth? Do you think that we are like our bench is deep enough? You think it's cooked or cooking or raw?
Well, obviously every fan's going to be disappointed with every bench. And I think I have to kind of keep that in mind. But you also have to kind of keep in mind that people are bench players because they're not starter quality per se. Unless you're a team with so much money and such a great academy. I'm not going to say raw. I would have to say cooking. I would have to say there is some quality there. Like, for instance, a lot of people want to see Joyner. Well, the reason why they want to see Joyner is because he has a lot of potential. Yeah. That's a good thing I have on the bench. Same thing with McSorley, for instance. But then if you want to count like Casilio, I mean, I know he started this game, but he's on the bench, and I think he's a pretty good bench player. Same thing with Sang Ben.
Yeah.
Who am I forgetting? Cordova should be starting, but okay, you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, and Betcher, I'll be honest, if Betcher was on the bench, Betcher's a good bench player. Yes. He could come out. He works his butt off. I will give him that. He would be great, especially when you're winning, because he does play defense and he does harass them. So I'm going with our cooking metaphor.
I'm the same. When I see the sub list now on this season, I actually am confident that we've got good players resting. The last couple seasons, my God, last season, look at our bench and it's like, oh God, oh, this is so bad. Like, especially the year before, like you look at the sub bench and like, this is not going to go well. But like this year, it's a strong bench. Like I look at tonight's. We had on our bench tonight, which we had Cordova, Mbake, Joyner, Lunt, McNaughton, McSorley, Perez, Sang Ben, and Totland. You look at those and you're like, that's a decent bench. Like that, there's some depth there, and I think that we're pretty good there. So I think cooking, because it can always be improved, right? We can always be improved. It would be wonderful to have a bunch of starters on our bench, but like there's a reason why those guys. And I like being able to change the script, the game script later in the game. Like put our power guys out there, and maybe our backups are those change of pace guys. Like I really like that idea. So I think we're cooking as well.
So just a random thing. My uncle is a huge Arsenal fan, and he liked Arsenal back when he was a kid, like 100 years ago. And he was he was talking about how that coach there, which everybody knows, he doesn't really look as the substitutes as substitutes. He looks at them as finishers, and that's what he calls them. He says, we're bringing out the finishers. And I actually love that analogy, and that's how I think even fans should look at these substitutes. Like, the thing is that think about like pitchers in MLB, right? So in baseball, you have your starting pitcher who usually has two really good pitches and a nice third one to kind of change things up. But then you get like the closers, right, who are the finishers, and most of the time they have like one really good pitch. They're usually like the flame balls, the super fast balls. You know what I'm talking about?
Got the killer sliders. Yeah.
Yeah. And they can be monodynamic because you're kind of finishing out, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm trying to say is with the bench, by the way, is that like someone like Betcher would actually be pretty decent because he seems like he would be good, especially when you're winning and he can defend and stuff like that, right? But as a whole player, I think there's better options.
If you look at like hockey, there's different lines in hockey, and you're not going to have
good
your
point.
lines are developed with the personnel for that line. And so you kind of look at like soccer. I like the finishers. Like we need strong finishers. We don't. This actually pump the brakes here. We're actually going to go to our next one, which is a big one. Hey, you know how many coaches we've had in our head coaches we've had in our 4-year tenure in the MLS?
Like 172.
Technically 5. So think about all the coaching we've had. Where does the tactical side of this team line up with the coaching? Is it raw? Is it cooking? Or is it cooked? And I'm talking about DeMay. So look at DeMay right now. Where do you think his tactical genius, tactical level is? And I'm going to be a little bitchy here, and I'm going to say it's to me it still looks like it's raw. Like we heard all winter about how much technical force he's bringing and how the players are learning it and how all this stuff. 1 win, 5 goals on the season. That's not going to do it yet. So I haven't seen anything big change. It's the same City we've seen the last 2 seasons where dribble, gone, dribble, final third, don't score. So to me, it's raw.
Steve,
Convince me.
I'm going to make you sad. I'm going to make you sad for a second.
You're going to say it's
We don't have 5 goals, bro. We got 4 goals.
Oh my God, we only got 4. Oh my God, that's right. We only got 4. We're so raw. Oh my God.
Okay. So,
which, by the way,
there's
before we go,
yeah.
Sam Surridge himself scored 3 goals today.
That's nuts.
Sam Surridge, and he's in Nashville, has 7 goals for the season.
Wow.
That man, so, and I got to see, he may have a better goal differential than we have right now. Because I want to see, go ahead. I'm sure you got a great point. Go ahead.
While you're looking that up, so here's my thought process with the tactical. It's tough because it's very apparent that we don't have a great roster. However, I still think you can make a comparison because with this roster, for the most part, I get that there's some new players here, but there's still a lot of similar players between last year and this year. We basically have 3 coaches. We have Olaf, we have Critch, right? And then we have DeMay here. And out of all 3 of those, currently, I would rank Olaf the lowest. I would put DeMay next, and I would put Critch above that. Because at least Critch was scoring goals, which you have to score to win, right?
We had like 2 goals.
He did give up goals.
Average, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm definitely thinking that it's raw. Now, I truly believe this, that you need to give a team, 7, 8, 9, 10 games before you can really start to make trends here. And the other thing is that they said that they wanted to keep the roster the same for the first X number of games. That way gave the team a chance to kind of learn it.
Yeah.
So part of this is are they playing a longer game than fans are? Are they looking at how we are going to end this second half of the season as opposed to just trying to scrape out wins right now rather than just finishing strong? And maybe they're hoping just the draw for now and then win later. It sounds like giving up, but in some ways, sometimes you have to play that way, I don't know.
That tactic sounds like they're hoping for the WWE, the some bitch coming out with the steel chair from the corner, like we're going to try to surprise them at the end of the season. Man, I don't know. I get, but like, here's the problem with that is the last couple seasons we've had players like injured and we haven't been able to have our full team. Like last year, it seemed like Olaf was just like killing these guys and everyone was injured and we didn't have a full roster. You can't say that this year. You can't even say that because Leuven has been absent. Leuven has only played in 1 game, I think. And so he's basically been a non-participant for this entire season. Our team is our team right now. And it's just not, it's not good. And the team construction isn't great. And the team tactics aren't there. So yeah, I think we both can say that it's definitely raw. I would love for them to be able to say like, hey, we're just waiting for the summer. Like, come on, you still got to sell tickets for now. And you still got to give us something now. And there's the problem with a game like this. And it probably happened last year against LAFC or LA Galaxy where Klaus scored his hat trick. Where we get this false sense of security, this false sense of, oh, everything's It's going to be a lot better. We scored 3 goals, and we're going to go play New York NYFC in New York, and we're going to get just mud stomped. And I don't even know who they played today, how today went, but I just can't imagine that we're going to survive at all. Oh boy, LAFC or Charlotte. Charlotte put up 6 goals against Red Bull today.
Holy moly,
that's nuts. Let's see. Oh, they play tomorrow. They play Miami tomorrow. So that'll be a good game. They play tomorrow against Miami. So watch that, guys. You'll be able to see what's might be coming, because I think they're going to have a full team, and it's in New York. So maybe Messi's not going to like to play up there in Yankee Stadium. Who knows? All right. So you want to do some goals or no goals here?
Yeah, let's do a few before we leave.
Yep. So I guess mine are kind of around the same for the tactical. From Zach Wybrick says, stoked we won, but waiting until our guys are literally cramping on the ground to sub them out is ridiculous. Goal or no goal?
I started sending messages. I think it was around the 65th minute, and I was like, man, these guys, or no, I'm sorry, not the 65th, the 55th minute. These guys seem like they were starting to get gassed. Like, it was just obvious that they just didn't have the gas in the tank. And I'm like, okay, subs.
Yes.
And I was even following on Reddit too, and people were like, hey, where are the subs? Why are we so late? And I was seriously waiting for a goal to happen, because they made subs, I think it was around the 60th or 65th, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
They made subs like 5-8 minutes before we did, and I was just waiting for it. So it's obviously a goal.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So
why can't this team
for you.
sub, man? Why can't any coach on this team do substitutions right at all? First minute, we're subbing guys in. Why wait? The game was in hand by then. Why not get our guys out?
So I have one for you, just to irritate you.
Great.
So Pure Concept 805 said, and this was right after.
He and I used to rattle can cars when we were younger. So this is my guy.
So he said, still trying to figure out how Durkin didn't put that over the goal. Wonders never cease.
This guy.
Goal or no goal?
This guy. It's a no goal. It's a no goal. I don't even want to comment on this anymore. All right. Okay. The BHO says that Hartle goal will probably be the best goal I will ever see live. Okay. So that's a little specific, because you have to see it live. So, okay, goal or no goal. If you were to see that live, probably the best goal you could ever see.
Well, probably. Like, I mean, if you go to like 2 or 3 games a year for the rest of your life, then yeah. I mean, I think it's possible that might be the best goal you might see. If you count like watching games on TV and everything, then no, we're going to see tons better. But
right.
I would say that there's a chance. We'll just give it a goal. I mean, it was a pretty amazing goal. It was probably amazing to watch live. The shock factor, spilling beer on everybody in the supporter section. Absolutely.
I don't know. I've been to some games. I've seen some pretty amazing goals. So, okay, just from the tactical side of that, sure. Just to being able to hit it from 40 yards, it's an amazing goal. But like, there's other aspects. So to say that it's be the best goal you ever see live, I'm going to say no goal, because that's way too wild. I think if you could say it was the best moment of the night, sure. I think that's an overreaction. Go back to our game. That's an overreaction.
Okay.
Ticket.
Well, Real
right.
Tyler D91 said, and this was at halftime, a great first half. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
Come on. Really? You couldn't ask for like 6 more goals? Couldn't ask for that. Couldn't ask for a striker. Couldn't ask for a nice vegan Philly cheese sandwich. Like, what? You can't ask for anything nicer? Come on. Again, with the hyperbolics. What about you? So that's a no goal for me. That's silly.
Of course, I think it's obvious no goal, right?
That's silly.
And even if we weren't being exaggeratory, right? I don't know if that's a word, but even if we didn't exaggerate, it is now. Boom.
Exaggeration.
See how that happens? Steve, I just created a new word, and I contributed to society. What have you done with your life?
My guy thinks he's Shakespeare. Come on now. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's That's ridiculous. All right. Here's another one. Guy Smiley says, it's a little long one, so, maybe get a nice little beverage while I'm reading. I think everyone here is in agreement that we are happy to have a victory and 3 goals at that. But the coaching is questionable, particularly the lineup and subs. If we have to suffer through 3 or 4 bad games to get one of these, then it would not be worth it. So,
okay.
Yeah, goal or no goal. Is it worth suffering through poor games, poor game management for one good game?
So I'm going to answer a goal or no goal with another goal or no goal and tie it in.
Freaky bitch.
I know, right? So Casper said that the amount better they looked with Celio starting makes it look so much worse that he wasn't.
You know what? That's a no goal because I think that guy had a stroke.
I read that word for word. So I think what they're trying to say here.
Send help. That's what he's trying to say.
Blink twice.
Go ahead and decode this covfefe nonsense.
So I think what they were trying to say is that when we have Celio in the lineup,
okay,
especially starting, it makes it look better than when he's not. So I'm kind of going back to this because you had said here that the coaching is questionable, particularly the lineup and subs. So what I'm trying to say here is that I'm kind of with a goal here that Celio seemed like it was generating some action. It didn't directly lead to the goals, but I think it was kind of stretching the defense and they had to watch him because if they weren't really paying attention to him, because they were often double teaming him on the edge of the box.
Yes, they were.
Then they would have just collapsed and they would have been more compact, which would have been way harder to attempt to score. So I agree. The coaching is questionable. I do acknowledge the coaching and say there's a couple things. One, it's a new system. 2, we played really tough teams except for tonight's team. And 3, I don't have a third one.
Well, neither did that guy.
So I'm going to say goal with all this.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, the system of the subbing, we kind of went through it. I'm going to say a goal as well, just because we need to see something. We need to see some life out of this team. But I'm a worry with the way we won tonight that we're not going to, that they're going to say, hey, it works. But let's hope we can keep Celio in the lineup, though. But I think with Toyshirt coming back, I don't think it's going to happen if he comes back. All right. I think that's what I got.
I pretty much, I would say that's what I got too. Steve, I'm super excited, right? There's never a bad win.
Never a bad
At least not in my opinion, because it's still 3 points and you had to do something right? Like you actually, because you can't win by not scoring goals. And we did that.
We did 3 of those. KC lost, or Kansas lost. So that's always good. We moved from 14th to 12th in the table. There's still a lot of teams that we have 4 points now. So it's not great, but we moved up. At the beginning of the season, my prediction was if we finished 12th, it would be a good season. So I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I felt about saying that maybe finishing 12th would be a success, because is this winning? Are we tired of winning yet? We do. I guess we only won once, so it's hard to say we're tired of it. We're not even sure what it is yet.
Yeah. All right, Steve.
All right. Oh, I guess we can be wrapping this up. All right. You know what y'all do? Grab your most awesome scarf you have, put it above you, and put your hands up in there and go, "Oh, for City, baby, because we got to win." All right.
Finally.
We did it. Oh, my God. We're never going to lose again. Never going to lose again.